Hey guys! So we have an interesting video today and an even more interesting weekend coming up. Following right on the heels of whatever started to emerge from the depths with all of the Pluto energy that we had going on yesterday, it just doesn't seem energetically like that is going to be stopping anytime soon. In fact, it actually seems like we are entering the days where the official paradigm begins to really start to crack, and what I like to refer to as the woo is beginning to seep out and start consuming it all. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name is Aubrey. Today is Friday, August 27th, 2021, and this is my astrological outlook for the weekend, Friday the 27th, Saturday the 28th, and Sunday the 29th. We have some really big energy happening this weekend. First of all, the really big day of the weekend is going to be Sunday, when we are going to be having the sun come into an exact square with both the north and the south nodes. And also on that day, the moon will be later in the day coming into a conjunction with the black moon and also the north node. So we're at a turning point, and I will talk about what this is, where this is going to take us as I progress through the energetics of the weekend. But let's start with Friday. Let's start with today and see what is transpiring now after we had all of this Pluto energy that was going on yesterday and really starting to give us a understanding on both a mental and emotional level of what's been going on under the surface of things and how this might be transforming us internally as well as our lives going forward. And the north and the south node, those points that are going to be very activated by the sun this weekend, that is what rules the path forward. So we're changing, we're finding things out, and it's altering the course of things going forward. Let's start with Friday. I took a bunch of notes on this weekend. When I was looking at the energetics, I just started writing. So forgive me if I seem like I'm reading a little bit today. I usually don't do that very much, but I just wrote a bunch today. So I'm going to refer to my notes. And I also want to be able to get through this I have 33 minutes and 22 seconds before my camera shuts off. So I'm going to try to move through this 3-day outlook as quickly as possible. So Friday, first things first, we have the sun discharging 5 degrees of Virgo, and that degree, the Sabian symbol of that degree, or the energetic described in a picture form that helps us understand what is really going on with that specific aspect. 5 degrees of Virgo, the symbol for that degree is a person becoming aware of nature, spirits, and normally unseen spiritual energies. Enter the whole concept of the hidden, unseen, invisible side of things in our reality that has a much more powerful influence on our reality than we have understood up until this point, starting to make its way to the surface, starting to show itself and seeping through the cracks in reality. A person becoming aware of nature, spirits, and normally unseen spiritual energies. And first of all, let me just define a word. This word that I like to use to describe basically everything of like a spiritual or metaphysical or invisible or conspiratorial or unseen driving force, invisible, powerful energies that like operate in this dimension, but we don't really acknowledge or validate as fact or really pay any type of attention to or acknowledge. I like to group them all together and just refer to them as the woo, because I just feel like it is a good way to describe them just in terms of like a blanket term, and people just generally understand that. So when I say that, that's really what I'm referring to is like the invisible spiritual driving energies that we don't acknowledge, but that have always played an integral role in the way that things happen in our reality, in our dimension. So this is, and I feel like this actually was playing a role in the things that we were discovering and figuring out and starting to see through with the Pluto, Mercury, and Moon that happened yesterday. But now it's really like starting to expand, okay? And we also, the main aspect that we have going on Friday, there really aren't too many aspects happening on Friday, but there is an exact quincunx going on between Jupiter retrograde and Mercury. And remember, Mercury is a crucial planet right now because we are in Virgo season. The sun is in Virgo, Mars is in Virgo, Mercury is in Virgo, and Mercury rules Virgo. So the Virgo energy, Mercury, is a very prominent planet right now. And it's making this quincunx to Jupiter. And quincunxes are generally like when things aren't really lining up properly, like there's some type of just like failure to come to the same place for some type of a reason. And the way that, you know, this aspect generally, it can bring like exaggeration, and because Jupiter expands things and blows things up, and Mercury is like communication, ideas, thoughts. So just like exaggeration generally, and what we focus on tends to grow and expand in the mind with this. So that's something else to keep in mind. You know, during this aspect, whatever we're focusing on has the tendency to just expand in terms of our mind and our thoughts. And things can seem much better or worse than they really are when this energetic is operating as well. And so I kind of feel like one way this energetic might play out on Friday is like more mental and media narrative distortion could be something that we might see, and like a definite push to use this energy to regain and, you know, recapture the mind and regain the narrative, which has been kind of going on all week since we had the Mercury and Neptune activations earlier this week. But ultimately, I'm kind of seeing this as like this like cognitive dissonance and like beliefs, which are ruled by Jupiter, and logic, which is ruled by Mercury, like not coming together and not working together. And I think it's because of this paradigm cracking thing that we have going on now, and the woo starting to emerge and to rise to the surface of things, and like people starting to notice it. And it just like what did I write? The woo is starting to emerge and consume the narrative, and it's causing tension between thoughts and beliefs. And again, like I really also feel like we need to keep in mind there is a very primed condition for like all types of mental issues going on this weekend, and nervous system issues and nervous energy and nervous tension and anxiety and like panic and stuff. Because, well, first of all, this Jupiter Mercury aspect, this quincunx, that could be doing this. And also then the moon is moving into Gemini on Sunday, conjuncting the black moon, and that can definitely be doing this as well, especially in square to the sun. So just something to keep in mind. People's nervous system and the way that their mind is working, nervous tension, nervous energy, fears being triggered and stuff might be definitely something that people are dealing with. So we want to try to, you know, understand that when we're navigating dealing with people this weekend. And I just, you know, the degrees that this is happening at, Jupiter's at 27 degrees of Aquarius, which is an ancient pottery bowl filled with violets, and Mercury at 27 degrees of Virgo is at the degree aristocratic elderly ladies drinking tea in a wealthy home. So, you know, it's there's a sense of like oldness and ancientness being referred to twice in these symbols. And so it's like ancient wisdom and knowledge are being communicated because the elderly women are talking, and it's this ancient pottery bowl filled with violets. It's like the beauty of the ancient past being like spoken about, and like coming through from like the like the heritage and the ancestors and the past and the more ancient times, and coming back. And that also is referencing this like unseen spiritual energies that played a much more significant role back then. And also in the context of the sun at this degree today, the person becoming aware of nature, spirits, and normally unseen spiritual energies this whole day. And then we have this like inability to like put our beliefs and our thoughts like on the same like parallel track. I feel like this is, you know, because the paradigm is starting to crack. And whatever, it's funny because, you know, I'm actually filming this video on Thursday when the Mercury and Moon are aspecting Pluto, so I don't know yet, you know, what is going to come from that generally in terms of like on the world stage or in the collective. So I don't know, you know, what is going to be emerging, but I imagine something will be, and it really seems like whatever that is kicking up like this ability to start perceiving these hidden, under the surface, more invisible aspects of things and making people aware of them. And it's just causing this like dissonance between previously held beliefs and what we're finding out in like reality and logic and truth that's happening now. And that also makes sense considering that we are heading directly towards this square between the nodes, where we're going and what we need to let go of. In Gemini and Sagittarius, Gemini rules like reality and the facts and information, and Sagittarius, you know, that's belief systems, and the South Node is there. We need to let go of past belief systems as we move into this new paradigm of reality and information that's coming out. And, you know, in the square to the Sun in Virgo, it's actually what we need to heal. So it's interesting. And as I progress through this report, I'll talk more about that. But yeah, for Friday, you know, I really feel like we are entering this era where the paradigm, the narrative is really starting to crumble, and we're starting to acknowledge and start to perceive in very subtle ways the actual truths underneath it that have been driving things. Cognitive dissonance for sure, beliefs in truth not lining up, and it's like you can't believe what you're reading or what you're hearing or what you're saying type of vibe that I'm feeling for Friday. Now let's move on and talk about Saturday. Saturday, again, there's not a whole bunch going on, but the sun is at 6 degrees of Virgo. This Sabian symbol is a merry-go-round. So it's like on Saturday, we are like witnessing, you know, the cycles, what's been perpetuating, and deciding whether or not we want to get back on that merry-go-round. And the moon will also be coming into a conjunction with Uranus on Friday, or on Saturday. I forgot to say for Friday also, the moon is also going to be conjuncting the Chiron point in Taurus, while Venus is still in an opposition to Chiron retrograde. So we also might be feeling our wounds and feeling our pain and dealing with that on Friday as well, in the context of sort of beginning to merge back into like the realization of the more spiritual energies. And it's, you know, we're starting to awaken. That's what this is. So back to Saturday. On Saturday, the moon will move and it will conjunct Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So this is a realignment taking place. This can bring epiphanies, flashes of insight, and we're like emotionally aligning internally with authenticity. And we also might be feeling a little bit rebellious. We might be like have like emotional impulses to do something like out of the blue or shocking or unexpected. Or we also might be like responding to things that happen unexpected or shocking, that are like unsettling to our level of comfort with this happening in Taurus, with Uranus and Taurus. And, you know, Uranus is in Taurus. The moon will be in Taurus for the conjunction on Saturday. And, you know, whenever the moon conjuncts Uranus, this is just, we're primed for some type of upheaval or shock and surprise could be coming with this. But Venus for this day is also in we have another quincunx going on, an exact quincunx to Uranus. Or wait, to Uranus at 14 degrees in her own sign. So this is a super Uranian day, you guys, on Saturday. Definitely upheavals in relationships for sure we could expect to see on Saturday, with the moon conjuncting Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus and the moon simultaneously making an exact quincunx to Venus in Libra in her home sign. So this is all about the Libra stuff. This is all about the Taurus stuff. This is all about relationships, stability, comfort, safety, security, and partnerships and financial agreements. We are feeling like what we're in right now may not be in alignment with us, and it may be causing some type of upheavals, shocks, and surprises. But it's funny because we have Uranus, or Venus is at 14 Libra for this, and that Sabian symbol is in the heat of noon hour. In the heat of the noon hour, a man takes a siesta. So it's like, with this degree being discharged, it's also like we don't really want to deal with these issues, with these emotional issues that are coming up. Like, we really kind of just rather like go to sleep and not deal with it, but we like have no choice. So we might just be feeling like, like whatever's happening, like it has to happen. We know it has to happen. We're feeling it internally, but like we don't want to. Venus rules like our wants and our desires. So we don't desire to do this. We don't want to do this. We'd rather kind of just like take a nap and not worry about it, but we have to. And this also could bring, again, like mixed feelings about the level of commitment that we have in relationships, because we're being realigned emotionally with this. The moon is there too, and it's disrupting relationships. So Saturday relationship disruptions could be very prominent. And it's almost like it could be because of this, all this stuff that's been seeping up from the depths and that we're seeing for the first time and being like, oh my God, I didn't know that was down there, but it is, and I don't know how to like arrange it in my mind because it just doesn't fit into anything that I've, ever considered as a possibility. But, there it is, because then the very next day, the sun moves into that exact square to the north node and to the south node. So it's like, okay, but now you have to totally release whatever past belief system that you've been holding on to, so that you can move towards the future. And it might bring up some conflict, it might bring up some difficulty, but it's actually what you need to heal and to thrive and to come back into your light. With the sun, it being the sun, it's what gives us our vitality, it's what gives us our life force. And in Virgo, that's the sign of, the healer. So it's like, it's really what we need to heal our like personal vitality on like a spiritual level. So let's talk about Saturday now or Sunday now and everything that is coming with that. So yeah, at 3 a.m. actually, exactly, that is when the exact to the minute square will be between the sun in Virgo, the north node in Gemini, and the south node in Sagittarius. And 7 degrees of Virgo, this Sabian symbol is a harem. And I feel like this is going a couple of ways, but it is like, it's sort of like people are going their separate ways with this. And that also makes sense in the context of the energy from Saturday, because that is all about relationship shakeups happening because of the need to find something more authentic. And okay, so 7 degrees of Virgo, where the sun will be, that is a harem. 7 degrees of Gemini, where the north node will be, that is an old-fashioned well. And 7 degrees of Sagittarius, where the south node will be, that is Cupid knocking at the door of a human heart. So the way that I'm reading these energetics, it's like people are wishing for a deeper, true love connection. Like the old-fashioned well always reminds me of like a wishing well and something like that goes very deep. And like, it's like with it being at the harem and with it being the square, it's like a break from long-held loyalties, like the groups that you've been always a part of and that you've always given your loyalties to. It's like there is a break from this now, as the relationships are having to realign to that more authentic place so that we can actually move forward, and we're having to let go of things that we've loved, Cupid knocking on the door of a human heart, of things that we've loved in the past, before wishing for something deeper. Like, we have to let go of these things in order to get those wishes of that really deep, authentic connection that we are all needing right now, because that is really what is giving us the support to come into our power so that we can become the masters of our own reality in conjunction with God and the divine plan, and go on to build the Age of Aquarius, which is the game plan for humanity right now. We've arrived at this point, and that is what universe is directing us to do. That is the divine order that's coming down. God is creating this new paradigm of reality through humans, and through us waking up and coming back into our power and doing that work. The hand of God is working through humanity in orchestrating and conducting and creating this whole new way going forward, as happens every like 26,000 years, or no, that was the totally wrong number. Every like 2,000 years when the ages switch, the same thing happens. And that's what's happening now, and it just happens to be the age of Aquarius, the age of self-knowledge, the age of self-empowerment, and the age of self-mastery. And that this weekend, you know, it seems like we are hitting the tipping point and things are going to start to change. So letting go of things we've loved before and wishing for something deeper, a deeper, more authentic connection with the North Node at 7 Gemini, an old-fashioned well, and Cupid knocking at the door of the human heart for the South Node. Also, you know, this is a square, so there's conflict. So it could be some potential conflict in moving forward for one reason or another. And it also, you know, with this, I also see that there could be a simultaneous super, super oppressive push right now to lock down even more, like to be even more controlling in terms of really trying to re-grasp and regain the human psyche and the human spirit, because people are ready to move forward with this, and there's just some type of conflict that might be coming up and preventing that with these energetics. But again, like, this is so funny to me because the North Node is in Gemini. The Sun is in Virgo. Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. So of course we have to see what Mercury is talking about today when this is going on in order to know the true story here. And Mercury for this day is still in Virgo, so still exalted, still in his home sign, still like the king of everything. And he's at the degree, like I said, 29 Virgo, and the Sabian symbol for this degree, a person gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll. Like, that's the definition of the woo. Like, that's the definition of the, like, invisible ancient information that is, like, coming up to the surface. A person gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll. That is so Mercury in the moon with Pluto. And it's saying it. Like, it's funny to me. It's because the invisible reality is starting to seep out. The paradigm is shifting, and it's bringing this cognitive dissonance and this disinformation and these like power dynamics that are causing the conflict. Like, that's what it is. Like, it's like this square. What's causing the conflict is the mental resistance to the new reality that's starting to emerge and starting to infiltrate everything right now and consume the narrative. And there's just this major backlash and push against it. And, you know, it's just causing and stirring up all of this fear and all of this anxiety and all of this, like, uncertainty and cognitive dissonance, like an inability to believe your eyes and stuff like that. But it's happening. And then we also have, right, you know, for this, the North Node is actually within a 2-degree conjunction to the Black Moon. That's another thing that we have coming up soon, you guys. The North Node is going to conjunct the Black Moon in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be interesting. But right now, for the square, the Black Moon is at 5 degrees of Gemini, and the North Node is at 7 degrees of Gemini. And so, you know, remember, 5 degrees of Gemini, where the North Node is right now, is a radical, or where the Black Moon is right now, is a radical magazine or publication asking for action, displays a sensational front page. So the forces trying to maintain the previous paradigm's grip and control and power, moving forward into the new paradigm, the people that are trying to maintain the status quo, it's like they're trying to control, and because it's the North Node, the direction of the future, it's like they're trying to control the direction of the future through these media projections, these calls for action, these sensational front pages, through activating the collective fear and the collective shadow side. They know that the The woo is starting to surface and to seep out, and they're really with this activation trying to seize on to triggering everyone's collective fear, collective shadow side, the black moon, at this degree through these headlines and these publications and these calls for action and these like radical and sensational stories that are going on in order to North Node to direct the direction of the future, to control the direction of the future path. But it's out of alignment. It's in a square with what humanity needs right now to truly heal the sun in Virgo, to truly heal their light. So they can't get a grip. It's too late. Also, on the flip side, with this square happening and the degree of Mercury for this, with both Gemini and Virgo activated, a person gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll, like that's really what it's all about, is trying to keep a lid on the hidden truths of reality that are just bubbling out everywhere right now and starting to consume things and causing people to do what was happening on Friday and Saturday and, start struggling in maintaining things that are out of alignment with their true internal value and their true authenticity. And then, with the North Node and the South Node at these degrees, we're really wishing for something deeper and something, much more connected and much more authentic and much more true. And, the harem with the sun, like, that's definitely, with this square, like, could represent breaking loyalties that have been withstanding for a long time. So by Sunday night, the moon will also conjunct the black moon and the North Node in square to the sun. This will also be the third quarter square moon that we'll be having. And third quarter square moons, that's all about letting go as well. So not only is the sun in square to the South Node and the North Node, all about what we need to let go of in order to move forward, conflict coming up about that, but the moon is also in square to the sun for the third quarter, talking about what we need to let go of. It's like a perfect puzzle. It's so crazy how universe orchestrates the blueprint. So shadow issues being triggered for sure. We're going to be in black moon energy on Sunday when the moon is in Gemini. That always brings up these issues, but right now even more so, and definitely pertaining to what we're moving away from regarding belief systems specifically because it's Sagittarius, and what we're moving towards regarding perceptions and understandings of reality and truth because it's Gemini. So this is just so like mind-bogglingly crazy. So let's see. Shadow issues being triggered, and it's like people want to obey or go along with things with this to feel okay again with the sun in Virgo. And they're very easy. The mind is also going to be very easy to manipulate with this in terms of our emotions, because the black moon and the moon, that's bringing up our emotional issues. That's like really triggering us on an emotional level. And with the square to the sun, this energy can really be utilized to tap into people's emotional fears and have them more willing to go against their own internal like compass in order to get like what they need to feel okay again, to feel, the sun, to feel alive, or not having everything taken from them. So it's very easy to manipulate people with this. Also, super mental issues and fears about the future could be coming up, and conflicts in terms of how we want to be living our lives going forward. But the narrative, this is the thing, like with the sun in Virgo at this degree, like I've been saying, the narrative is in conflict with what the collective actually needs to heal in Virgo. And we're learning about all of just this stuff that's coming up, that's boiling up from the surface. And the emerging invisible, past invisible body of knowledge, the woo, is disrupting the course of things. That's really how I'm seeing this. It's like there's a disruption this weekend, and it is impacting the course of the future, and I think that it has a lot to do with all of these hidden truths that are starting to infiltrate the collective consciousness with all of this Mercury energy being activated. So that's really what I have to talk about for the weekend, you guys. Friday, we get, Friday, it's like happening, and it's like causing this like schism between beliefs and logic. Like, we can't really believe like what we're hearing and seeing, but we really like have to. And then it's like causing Saturday these relationship shakeups as the moon is with Uranus too, so that brings shocks and surprises generally, and also making the aspect to Venus. Also, financial markets could be experiencing some really erratic stuff on Saturday as well. And then Sunday we have that T-square between the North and the South Node and the Sun, and Saturn is still in a trine to the North Node, so, you know, we're really building, we're really reevaluating the form that things are going to take going forward. So, at the end of the day, though, I really feel like this is the weekend where we're having the turning point in the paradigm shift, and going forward after this, I do think that it's going to be much more difficult to control the awakening of humanity. And that's really, like I said earlier, that's really what all this boils down to anyways, is humanity is waking up. We are becoming more consciously aware of what's always been there, but that we've never seen or focused on before. It's almost like we're starting to develop a new sense. You know, like if you didn't have the sense of smell, you would never know that there was a sense of smell. And it's like, there's a lot that we haven't been able to perceive, but we are like, because of just the energy that's activating within us right now and what it's doing to the mechanisms, the crystalline structures in our brain, it's just activating, like it really is sort of like we are slowly cultivating a new sense that's giving us an ability to perceive something that for most people had been very invisible up till this time. You know, there's always been people who have been tapped into that, but, you know, they've always been on like the very fringes of society and not taken seriously and stuff like that. But now that type of thing is going to be becoming more and more incorporated into just the way that the world is interacting with life in reality. And I feel like this is a turning point weekend, you know, all week, especially with those Pluto aspects, and then we move into Friday, and then we move into Saturday, and then we have this T-square. Definitely that's what I'm thinking, you guys. So that is my report for the day, for the weekend. I hope that I was able to provide something for you that can give you some guidance as you're navigating all of this emerging craziness. So it's taking us in a good place, you guys. This is all aligned with the age of Aquarius, and it is exactly, probably, I'm sure for a fact, what needs to happen in order to get us all there. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends if you think they'd be interested. I think I'm going to make my video this weekend answering some of you guys' questions, so stay tuned for that. Leave more questions in my description box or my comment box if you have them, and tune in on Monday, you guys. Let's see how the weekend went, and let's see what we have coming at us next week. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.